Baby, the only way out is in. I mean, do you even know who you are? Who you are? Who you are?
Welcome to Self Love is the Best Drug. I am Jay Kwana. Here we talk about all things self love and personal development. Okay, we are back with part two of Rock Bottom. Our first episode was interrupted by my precious little daughter. So I am here today to finish up my story about how I hit rock bottom and how I was able to turn my life around and climb up to where I am now. And back to this, not even back to this, because I don't think I ever was this happy in my life. I don't think I ever experience this joy that I wake up with every day. My life completely changed. Completely changed. My perspective on my life, the way I attack my challenges, the way I get through things. Like recently, going off topic a little bit, recently something major happened in my life and I started laughing mid chaotic situation. I couldn't even get upset anymore. And in the mix of me laughing, I'm just like overjoyed. I got overjoyed because I realized I'm changing. The work that I'm doing is changing me. God is changing me. I am no longer that person who allow outside things to disrupt my peace and to tear me down. I'm completely changing into this new woman and I love who she is. And that's why we're here talking about self-love. Like I couldn't talk about it if I wasn't doing it myself. Like we're not here just to, you know, anyways. Today we are drinking my Beat It juice. It is on my website. The website is up. Self love is the best drug wellness.com. If you are interested in the beet juice, all the ingredients and stuff is there on the website. So check it out. After the episode, of course. That is refreshing. Let's get comfortable. Let's get cozy. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back with episode two. So let's get into it. So last week I was telling you guys how I even realized that I was breaking down. My beautiful daughter smiled at me and I was not able to smile back. So, in realizing that, my heart was hurt and I had to go outside and cry it out. To be honest with you, I cried for about 3 weeks straight. Of course, after I wiped my tears and I came back in the house and did what I had to do as far as being mommy and going to work and continuing on with my life. But I had to release this every day. I had to take some time and just release it and sit with myself. So, the first week, I felt like I was going through a lot of anger, a lot of regret, but it was not about anyone outside of myself. I was upset with myself. I was upset and I was disappointed at the fact that I allowed myself to get to a place where I was feeling so low again. I hit rock bottom a few times in my life. So just understanding that I allowed myself to fall that low again, I was very disappointed in myself. I was very upset because I thought I learned these lessons. I thought I was better. I thought I've grown past these things, but that wasn't the case. I had to relearn them. So I want to say the second week or so after I was finished being upset, I had to take well, in me being upset, I had to take accountability for the part I played in where I was in life. And I want to say it took about this third week or so, I started to change my perspective on things. And I'm like, okay, so yes, I'm hurt. No, I'm not happy with my life. Yes, there are a lot of things that I have in my life or I'm partaking in my life that I don't want to do and don't serve me and it's not making me happy. So, what can I do to change things? But before I got to what can I do to change things, I had to reflect and realize that God won't put me through anything that I can't make it through. And realizing that everything happened for a reason. Like I really had to go through this thought process. Everything happened for a reason. So I had to start asking myself the correct questions. So opposed to me asking, why was you so stupid to put yourself in this situation? Why didn't you just listen to the red flags? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It changed to, okay, you're in this situation. You're not happy with your situation. So what can you do to change your situation? Um, and then I started looking at it from that perspective. And at that time, I didn't completely feel like a mom. I didn't feel like I can be a mom, especially with me being so down out and depressed. I'm like, how can I be somebody's mom and I can't even hold myself together, you know? So when my perspective changed on my situation, it changed from, okay, so it's not how can you be a mom or why are you a mom? It's you're changing into a mom. You're growing into this woman. You know, you're a completely different woman now. You're handling your business. You're doing what you have to do as a mom. Yes, you're going to work. Yes, you're coming home and you're being mommy. Yes, you're playing this part in this relationship. You may not be happy in this relationship, but you are playing your part as a mom. So, if anything, this situation groomed you into this woman who you are becoming. Now, things may not be perfect in a way that you want them right now in this moment, but you're already changing into this amazing woman. So, in me realizing all of that, it was a long process. Like, I didn't even go, I feel like I skipped a few parts. I didn't get too deep into how I came to this point, but we got to this point. Of me just evaluating my situation and looking at myself from a different perspective and appreciating the woman who I was becoming and being a mom. Um, so one thing that I did not like about my life was working a job. Yes, I at the time felt like I had to work a job to make money. So I didn't just get up and quit my job, but I said, okay, I know that this job is not going to be an end all be all for me because one, I was taking too much time away from my child, and I knew for sure when I was even pregnant, I did not want to spend that much time away from my child, and I did not want my job to pull me away from my child because I didn't want to come home stressed out because of my job and take that out on my daughter. Like, I guess I went through experiences like that before, and I know a lot of people who do that now. And I know that was something that I did not want for myself. So I started re-evaluating my whole work situation. Now, like I said, I didn't just get up and quit my job, but I started thinking about a business. I started thinking about other ways that I can make money. And the realization I had about my job is I literally started a new work field I started in a new work field after having my daughter. So it took me only 3 months of training to master that job. And when I looked at it in that way, I'm like, it only took me 3 months to master this field. I can learn anything in 3 months. Okay, it's time to start a business again. And because I have businesses in the past that I did not continue with, neither here nor there. We're not speaking about that. But in that moment, it was time for me to start another business. And that's when I started teaching myself how to do lashes. Of course, I went to use YouTube University, started there, and I want to say 4 to 5 months after that, I started lashing. Now, my lashing career is another story for another time. If you're interested in it, comment down below and we can talk about that later. But like I said, I wasn't happy with my job. So I made some changes within that. I taught myself something new. and started moving forward with that. Excuse me, that's weird. That's crazy. You're on camera. But anyways, from there I started something new and started venturing out to learn something new and start a business because I knew that I did not want to work for a company and I did not want to spend so much time away from my daughter. So the first thing I did try was lashing. Also, I was not happy with my relationship. So at that time, I was not able to communicate my needs as well as I am now. I was not in tune with my emotions as much as I am now. There was a lot of work I had to do on myself before I even was able to work on a relationship. But then I started doing the work on myself. I started unpacking things about myself. Like I said, just explaining my emotions and my needs and what I want. And when I was able to do that, and I realized at the time my partner was not, that's when I decided, okay, I can no longer move forward with this relationship. Now, yes, I had a baby. She was still a baby at the time. She was only 8 months. So there was a lot of things going through my mind. Oh, I did not want my child to be in a single parent home, or I felt ashamed because I still had a young child and I wasn't with her father anymore. Um, there was a lot of shame behind it. Like, who would want me? I have a baby. And it was a whole lot of shame that I had to work through. But honestly, none of that shit matters when it comes down to my happiness. I wasn't happy within the relationship, so I had to make those changes. I had to move forward first and foremost with myself, learning exactly what I wanted, and then standing in that and understanding I can vocalize what I want. I'm doing the work within myself, even as far as just expressing myself and how I speak with people. I was not the easiest person to be with. Um, I didn't necessarily know how to express myself in a kindly manner. I would say that, like, when I was upset, I was upset. I would argue, I would curse people out, and or yeah. Honestly, before I even had my child, I wouldn't say abusive, but I definitely was toxic in relationships. So when things didn't go my way, I would use my hands. I didn't beat on nobody's son, but I was not the most positive person in a relationship. So going through this transition from rock bottom, I had to learn how to express myself in different ways, and I had to learn how to understand my own emotions. But I did the work. And I started doing the work and I started unpacking things within myself and figuring out, why do I even act like this in relationship? And of course it comes from what you see as a child. But I did the work to show up more positively in relationships or within myself, just because I wanted to show my daughter something better. I didn't want to repeat the cycle of her seeing toxic relationships and thinking it was okay. So I did the work. um, and I left that relationship. And then from there, I just continued to work on myself and work on my career, because those were things that was bringing me down. I didn't feel at my best. And I think that's how I hit that rock bottom. So within me working on myself and bettering myself and putting myself in a better position as far as my career, I was able to show up for my daughter completely differently. So that was pretty much how I climbed back up from rock bottom. And from there, I feel like just me taking those steps in a different direction, I put one foot in front of the other and God did the rest of the work. Like, I got closer to God. I started working out, and it didn't just jump into me just praying. No, it started little by little. Personal development videos. I got back into that. I got back into reading. I started walking every day. From walking, I started working out. From working out, I started eating differently. I got on my health and wellness journey. I got on my veganism journey, plant-based eating journey, workout journey. Now I am making juices and herbal teas. Um, this is what, fast forward 2 years later, I'm no longer working a job. That's another story for another time. We can speak about that in another video. But just by me sitting back, acknowledging where I was, taking accountability for where I was, and making changes to make myself better, I was able to completely transform my life. But it starts out with you sitting down, taking accountability, and start making those actions, taking accountability for where I was, pointing out what I didn't like about my life and making changes to that, and fully just taking responsibility for where I was and why I was not happy, and making changes to make myself happy. Everything else started unfolding the way it should. Now I wake up every day grateful. I live in gratitude. Like I said last episode, self love is truly my life. This is how I live my life. This is what I do on a daily basis. I wake up, I do my gratitude journal, I write in my regular journal, I pray, I meditate, I work out, I'm drinking fruit juices. I feel like I did not relax, but I'm drinking juices. I'm learning about my health, my wellness. There's so much that goes into this journey, but it's so worth it. So I guess I want to wrap up this video with, rock bottom is not the end all be all. I honestly feel like it's a fresh start to your life. When you realize that things are not going in the direction that you wanted to, that's the perfect chance for you to start changing things. But the first thing you have to do is take accountability for where you are. Understand it have nothing to do with anybody outside of yourself. It's everything to do with you. You are in charge of your life. If you allow people to treat you a certain way, they will continue to treat you that way. You can't allow people to treat you like shit and then be upset because they treated you like shit. You can't go to a job that you don't like every single day and be upset because you're not happy at the job that you go to every single day. You have to muster up the strength within yourself and start making changes to your life so you can build yourself back up and move forward with life. Like Les Brown say, if you can look up, you can get up. So just know, when you hit rock bottom, that is not a time for you to quit and stay down there. That's a time for you to invent yourself. Start your life over. Take charge of your life. Pray, get centered within yourself, and figure out what's next for you. I know for me, that was literally the beginning of a transformational journey. And I keep saying, I have never been this happy in my life. I truly feel like my daughter changed my life for the better. I didn't expect, I guess what I would say is, I grew up in, I had a bit of a rough childhood. So there were things that I would accept for myself that I would never accept from my daughter. So just by me having her, it shook me up and it made me stand on business. So there was no way you were going to present this behavior in front of my daughter. There was no way I was going to present this type of behavior that I did not want my daughter seeing in front of her. So she forced me to face myself and change the things that I did not like about myself, change the situations that I did not like that I was in. And now, 2 years later, my life is completely different. I can't even see myself hitting a bottom anymore because now my perspective on life is different. I feel like we go through everything for a reason. Every trial and tribulation you go through is there to teach you something. So if you're asking the right questions and you change your perspective on life, you will be able to come out of that even better. But you have to know the questions to ask. Not don't ask why is this happening to me? Ask what can I learn from this? And I kid you not, everything will look brighter to you because in every life lesson is a blessing. And as long as you are open to learning those lessons and take action once you learn what to do next, everything will work out for you. I kid you not, I take one step and God pushed me forward 10 steps. And my life is so beautiful. And it's not because of the outside things, it's literally because of who I am in the inside and who God changed me into. Like, I came from a dark place. And that's why I'm here too. I came from a dark place. I had a dark past, and a lot of people won't admit that, but I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx in the 90s. So you already know how that goes. But I come out and I'm happy. I'm not allowing that to shape my life. You know, like statistics would say, my mom had me at a young age. My dad died when I was 6 months. I have a bunch of alcoholics and drug addicts within my family. Um, a lot of people would say I'm not supposed to be happy, you know, and I am. I wake up every day happy. I know there's so much more to life, and that's why I truly preach. Self love is the best drug. When you are doing the work on yourself, you are getting connected to God. There's no limit to where life can take you. We hear so many quotes about life is what you make it. And we look at it like, oh, yeah, you know, people say that, or that's so cliche, but that's true. Life is really what you make it. Whatever you believe to be true for yourself is true for yourself. You just have to do the work on yourself. Your belief system is extremely powerful, like extremely powerful. It can make or break you. It can truly make or break you. So I say, when you are at rock bottom, listen to Les Brown. If you can look up, you can get up. Another quote that touched me, Jim Rohn, and he said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And that touched me because I was always a hustler and I was always a hard worker and I was always getting overtime and doing what I had to do. Like, if I was still working jobs, I probably would have been working 3 or 4 jobs. But when he said work harder on yourself than you do on your job, it stood out to me because I work hard at my jobs. When I was working jobs, I always worked hard. I always at the top of the chain. Like, I worked hard. My last job I was working for an insurance company, and I was always top 5%. Like, I was always number one. My numbers was always up there. So I knew, like, I wasn't lazy. I wasn't your average Joe. I was always a go-getter, and I would always go above and beyond. So if I can take that energy and put that into myself versus put it into a job, I know the fucking sky is the limit. What they say, reach for the stars, because if you don't hit the stars, you at least land on the moon. I'm probably mixing that up. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm a dope ass person. So for me and my energy being stuck at a job, it just wasn't it. So just listening to motivational speakers helped me to push myself forward and move past all that negative energy that I was trapped in. I feel like I'm going off topic, so I'm not going to get into any of that now. But the point is, your mind is extremely powerful. So if you can look up, get up. When you hit rock bottom, get the fuck up. That's the time for you to restart your life, reinvent yourself. Okay? I don't know exactly how. Stop. I start overthinking things and start to try to explain myself more than what I have to. We're not doing that. I am unlearning so much toxic traits that I've learned from my childhood, and I'm just grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm going to share what I've learned and what I'm learning on this journey with you guys every step of the way. That's pretty much what self love is the best drug is about. It's about me learning and growing through my own self love journey in hopes that I inspire at least one person to start loving themselves more to embrace their own journey. Don't let life beat you up. I don't give a fuck how many times you hit rock bottom. I don't care how many times you have to start over. Understand life is truly what you make it. Your mind is a powerful thing. Whatever you believe for yourself will be true. Don't allow people to put their negative thoughts and their toxicity onto you. Don't allow people to tell you you ain't shit. Don't take in none of that. Work on yourself, love yourself. Rock bottom is just a fresh start. It's your perspective and how you look on it. Don't look at it like it's the end of the world, it's the end or be all. No, it's literally a time for you to start your life over. Truly a magical time if you let it. It's not easy. It's not easy to work through these things. It's not easy to get to the other side, but it is worth it. It's not easy. I've been through the mud, I've been dragged through the dirt, but I believe in God and I have faith and I allow God to guide me. On this journey, I got still and I got quiet and I prayed a lot. And it was a time where I didn't know what was going on and I didn't know what was going to happen next. And I asked God, God, what am I supposed to do next? Like, what is next for me? And I sat quiet. I sat quiet for that whole day. And I want to say by the end of that day, I heard God say, it's time for you to heal. And ever since that, I've been taking this journey more serious. It's time for me to heal. I'm getting closer to God. I'm getting closer to my higher self. And I love this journey I'm on. Self love is the best drug. Rock bottom is only a time for you to restart your life. It just means that things are not working out the way that you're living. And your internal guidance system is telling you to try another way. We're going to end this episode here. I see you guys next week with episode 3.